fans always come to the show, and people come to see the champion. And they don't say what it is, but that's what it is.
Let's start with me.
The champion, Danny Devine!
I'm Danny Devine, the greatest Millennium Pro Wrestling champion in the history of this company. 21 years of champions, 21 years of wrestlers, and you're looking at the best one there's ever been.
The fastest rising star in MPW.
Dustin Daniels is here!
Dustin Daniels!
My goal from the very beginning is to be the MPW champion. And let's be honest, if that's not your goal, then why are you here?
I guess let me start by saying I love Dustin. I know for sure Dustin Daniels will be MPW champion someday, but someday isn't today, because I'm the champion. So I started with MPW back when I discovered independent wrestling. A friend of mine's a karate teacher, ended up being a professional wrestler, so they invited me to go to a local show. That local show was Millennium Pro Wrestling. I remember sitting in the audience and thinking, I could do this. I just need to figure out how.
I started wrestling on the independent circuit in 1998. There's a different type of frame that they were looking for out there, and it wasn't me. So I decided, well, if I'm going to enjoy professional wrestling longer, I might as well start my own promotion. So in 2001, I started Millennium Pro Wrestling, and I brought in people from all over the country. As our promotion continued to evolve, it became more about the school, where we were going to run a weekly show attached to it.
I walked into Millennium Wrestling Academy for the first time, and I think that I've been there at least twice a week since.
Danny Devine was completely ridiculously dedicated the moment he walked through the door. Now he's probably 500 or 600 matches into his wrestling career. On the independent circuit, you'll never see guys like that unless they're really upper echelon.
I became the champion in my 11th match ever. I was doing everything that everybody said was gonna take years. I did in a matter of months.
He's never taken any time off during the last 8 years. He's been carrying a lot of the weight here. I'll put my stamp of approval on him to wrestle with anyone.
Danny is the best wrestler that's in Southern California. Nobody knows about it because he commits himself to MPW more than he commits himself to pro wrestling. Growing up, Danny and I didn't really get along. He made sure that I knew that he was the boss, he was the older brother. And as we got older, I started to understand what he was doing was just watching my back. Brothers drift apart as they get older. Danny and I have only gotten closer. He's my best friend, he's my role model, he's everything that I strive to be.
The Brothers Divine is the greatest tag team in Southern California and probably beyond. We are a little bit of old school, a little bit of new school, and created the perfect blend of what a tag team can be. And I think that also comes from the fact that we've been a tag team since we were kids.
Brother tag teams are rare because it's actually real. That's something that they have that you can't manufacture.
No matter what we're doing, we're a team. And that translates in the ring because he's got my back in any and all circumstances. And that's what makes us a better team than everybody else.
They're gonna get that respect from the scene. They're this brother tag team that can do anything. Why do they get those accolades? Because they're just that good.
I gave everything to Millennium Pro Wrestling. My time, my talent, my body, my money, everything. In return, MPW gave me the training, the success. Everything that I've achieved is because I believed in a company that then believed in me. Becoming a trainer was almost by necessity. The company needed somebody that was gonna lead the future.
My dad introduced me to wrestling. The very first show I went to was actually my 14th birthday. Just being able to see it live and in person and seeing all the emotion, all the physicality, that's something about it just hooks you. So we just wanted to see if, hey, would you train a 14-year-old? And they were willing to do it, so since they were, why wait?
When he came in, I saw a kid that had the same passion for this that I do. The kid that came to a show with his dad and sat in the front row, and as soon as that show was over, begged his dad, "Dad, sign me up, sign me up, sign me up."
So annoying. Dustin Daniels was like 14, I think. I'm not gonna work with this kid. I'm gonna hurt him.
Dustin had to get special permission to train here because he was 14 years old at the time. The youngest student that we've ever trained. Dustin was taken under Danny's wing pretty quickly.
It was my first day that I actually did meet Danny Devine. was very nervous. Probably one of the most nerve-wracking times. Like the car ride there, I was freaking out because it's like, wow, this is actually happening. He was always the face of MPW. He was always the guy. So when I saw him, that's what I wanted to be.
Like a month into training, he was the best student we had ever seen. At 14 years old, his understanding of what the business was and like how to be a pro wrestler had exceeded anything that I ever thought.
When Dustin and I wrestled for the first time, he was 16. And I remember walking out of that match and I thought, Dustin Daniels is gonna be the champion someday.
What I have to prove, I guess, is just that I could hang with the rest. That's how it was when I started, that's how it is now. For me, that doesn't change. I feel like every time I step into the ring, I always have something to prove.
I need to prove that I belong there.
There's very few people that I can say I trained them start to finish, and you can see their talent and ability, and I look at that and I go, that's why I became a trainer.
When I first met Dustin Daniels, my thought was, this is wild, man. He didn't let him being so young and so small stop him.
Well, Bucio is a great person, you know. I think all the fans can tell you that. Something just felt right with the two of us together, so that always just kind of stuck.
It felt nice to have someone, you know? Something to build with.
Two guys who have no connection, they just met each other, they didn't know what else to do, so they paired themselves up. And then they took it by storm.
I felt like we were the top tag team in MPW, so to finally have the championships for me felt really good.
It was the best day of my life. I cried. I think I cried a little more than when I won my individual title. It was the first time we really broke through that mold of underdogs. That was the main goal.
You know, they belonged in that spot because they had earned it. To be the tag team champions at MPW means you have to be the best tag team in MPW, and those guys were at the time.
I think since we were young, we were the champions, you know, we thought we did it. So the quality in Fullson kind of started to go down, which lit a spark in us. Okay, something's wrong, we need to fix something. So I think at that moment, we needed to split up.
To be honest, I think what broke us up, funny enough, was something that like brought us up. Since we were so young, we got character, I think, kind of fast, and it clashed. It was harder to really work together.
I'm gonna fucking kill you. That's a fact.
When I left Fullson, Bucio left MPW altogether.
This isn't fun anymore, man.
I knew I had to leave MPW. I knew I was gonna miss it, and it was hard for me to even look back. Because it felt, the way I left, it felt very betrayed, you know?
I definitely know why Fullson broke up. That passion that Dustin has. He knew he was capable of more. He worked on himself, his body, his skill, his talent, his discipline. He dropped off what was holding him back and ended up starting the rise to become the incredible singles wrestler that he was always destined to be.
Dustin, he's putting in the work. He was getting huge, he was getting stronger. Jack Daniels was born due to the death of Fullson.
I'm on to bigger and better things. I want the big matches. I want the titles. I want it all.
I got a phone call from people just training at the school. And they're like, hey, you need to come down right now.
I was teaching class, and I felt a pull and a pain in my right knee like I've never felt before in my life. And I collapsed. I went to stand up, and I couldn't. I went to put weight on my right leg, and I couldn't. I knew that I was the champion, meaning that I carried this promotion. I carried the success of this show. It was all dependent upon me and my health. And now I'm sitting on the edge of the ring, and one of my legs doesn't work. So I ended up having a radial bucket handle meniscus tear, which is one of the worst meniscus tears that you can have. Surgery was required. There was no other option.
Danny had always said, you know, a major injury like that, well, that might be the end of it for me, because is the rehab, is the working so hard, is it gonna be worth it eventually? Do I love wrestling that much?
So as of tonight, immediately, I'm voluntarily vacating the MPW Heavyweight Championship.
What? And the fans, they were excited that I had to hand the belt back. They actually chanted, anyone but Danny. Anyone but Danny, the person that gave everything to this company, the person that's worked harder than anybody. And those words replayed over and over and over in my head when I was rehabbing. And I thought, anyone but Danny, you're gonna regret those words. And that was my motivation every single day in rehab, every single moment in the gym. It hurt to drive, it hurt to run, it hurt to step, it hurt to do anything. And every moment of pain I looked forward to, I'm gonna come back and be better than the best. When I came back, the first thing on my mind, how do I get back to the MPW Championship? How do I become a record 5-time MPW World Champion? And then, December 16th of 2022, Danny Devine wins the MPW Championship for a 5th time. To be quite frank with you, I believe that the MPW Championship is my birthright. I believe there's no other person in this company that deserves to be the MPW champion or the face of this company other than me. You say what people will about me, I have a big heart, and I care about people, especially people here at Millennium. And Dustin is he was my student, my protege, my legacy.
At this time, I felt my performance was the best it's ever been, but something just still wasn't clicking. I don't know, the opportunities were there, but I was just in over my head, and it's not in a good place.
And I saw kind of his attitude and his struggles, you know, kind of being on his own, and I thought, I've been in that place. So I talked to Brendan and I said, let's help cultivate him into that wrestler that he wants to be, that champion he may someday become.
I've watched you train at this school since you were 14 years old. You're the future of this company. You're the future of this business. You just need the right people around you.
Teach Dustin the ropes. Show him what being a real tag team is.
And boy, was Danny right. Because Dustin and I went on the run of a lifetime.
The Brothers Devine have always been the top guys of MPW, but especially at that moment, for Danny and Brendan to get me out of that dark place I was in and to kind of let me learn from them, it really meant a lot. I was able to learn so much.
My career starts next week because I'm with the top dogs now.
While Danny was holding the championship, being the guy, Dustin and I were the most entertaining act on the show. Everybody loved the Beef Boys. How could you not?
I had the time of my life with Brendan. To be the tag champions with Brendan was really important to me. Fortunately, that reign didn't last long.
When push came to shove, Dustin showed his inexperience and they ended up losing those tag team championships. You're only as strong as your weakest link, and we learned who our weakest link was.
I'm the one being blamed, but I could take care of myself, but I felt like there's times where I really needed to be there for Brendan, and he wasn't there for me.
I think our cracks began to form when Dustin thought he knew better than me. Dustin was trying to tell me how I should win matches. Dustin was trying to coach the coach. What you need on a team is knowing for sure that that guy's got your back, and that's when I started to realize maybe Dustin doesn't have my back.
Dustin, come back in here. Dustin!
Don't do it, Dustin!
I think it's one of the most difficult things, for sure, for me to trust somebody. Especially in professional wrestling, it's the people that you bring into your circle, you gotta keep it tight. My brother will always be there. I know he has my back. Dustin was genuinely one of the people I depended on the most in wrestling, somebody that I was willing to go to war with. So yeah, I would say Dustin was in my circle.
I was finally starting to hit my stride as a singles competitor, so I was awarded a #1 contenders match. If I could beat Super Beetle, I would face Danny Devine for the MPW Championship.
#1 contendership, Super Beetle and Dustin Daniels.
For me, that was the opportunity of a lifetime. It was a chance at being at the top.
This is Dustin Daniels' time to shine. All the hard work, all the pain he has been through for the past couple weeks.
Danny trained me, took me under his wing, and I considered him a friend. I just wanted to have a nice and friendly competitive match with him to see who the better man is.
I was genuinely proud of him. But I had to make sure he remembered you don't bite the hand that feeds you.
After I beat Super Beetle, they came into the ring to congratulate me, which felt great. And then...
That was a match that earns you a championship match against me. if you make it there.
There's so many emotions in my head right now. That moment was scary, confusing, and heartbreaking.
I'm holding this company on my back. And because I made a little bit of an insurance policy to make sure that we had a champion this company could be proud of, people are gonna make me out to be the bad guy of the story. To be frank, it's bullshit.
Come on, Danny. You stay back.
It's Busio.
Busio?
I came back because I saw Dustin changing. It was good for us to grow together, but he needed that time apart to learn who we are.
Here he is back in my life, and that really just showed me how much he cares for me. We're not a tag team anymore. He did it because he's my friend, and I needed help.
Being the champion of MPW isn't just the guy that walks around with the shiny belt. Being the champion of MPW means that you're here every single week, fighting every challenger that steps up to you, taking all the criticism, taking all the pressure, and still coming out the best.
There's a million different wrestling organizations, yet we have a show that runs every single week, and the show is never empty. I've been here for 6 straight years where we've had a weekly show. Fans didn't always come. I remember wrestling in front of 2 people, and they were both students of the school. But this run, ever since Danny won that title, sellout after sellout.
When Danny is the champion, when Danny's on the poster, the ticket sales go up, the matches get better, MPW is winning.
I think he's threatened by the potential of Dustin Daniels. I'm still only 20 years old. There's still so much room for growth, and I think they were seeing it at a very quick pace that they weren't ready for. Being the main event of the biggest MPW show of the year, that's a privilege, you know, but that's also a privilege that I have earned.
It's gonna be one of the hardest, most intense matches that Dustin's ever been through in his life. I think he's gonna have to muster every ounce of strength, endurance, and pro wrestling ability in his entire body.
For me, being the MPW champion's everything, because that means you're the best here. And I want to prove that I'm the best here.
Dustin Daniels is good. Dustin Daniels is talented. Dustin Daniels has everything you need to be the champion. Here's the problem. He's going up against the guy that gave him all of those tools. So everything Dustin's done, everything Dustin's achieved, everything Dustin dreams to become, Danny Devine is. As hard as he works, I work harder. As good as he is, I'm better. As much potential as he might reach, I'm already there and beyond.
14-year-old me started training here in my hometown, and ever since then, I've gone through every single division, every single obstacle, and I've made it straight to the top. Danny calls himself the face of MPW. That's where I want to be at. To represent everyone here, everyone in the audience, everyone in the back. And there's no better way than doing that than becoming the new MPW champion. Let's go! What makes MPW special is the atmosphere, the vibe. There's no bad seat in the house. You could sit anywhere and have a good time. But also, you're seeing some of the best wrestling in Southern California each and every single week here.
We got a packed house tonight, don't we? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Millennium Pro Wrestling's Anniversary Spectacular! cannot forget about the main event. The MPW Championship is on the line as Dustin Daniels goes one-on-one with the champion, Danny Devine.
Nerves are starting to kick in a little, but I know once I get out there, I'll be fine.
The following MPW Championship match is scheduled for one fall and is your main introducing the challenger from Chatsworth, California, weighing 188 pounds, Dustin Daniels. Introducing his opponent, he is your reigning MPW champion. From Fort Park, California, weighing 195 pounds, Danny Devine.
This match has been a long time coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, it all comes down to this.
They're about as tall as you, so these your friends? Let's go, huh? Win the ball, win the ball.
This is my time. I'm on the rise. Can't hold me down, I'm too fly. This is my time. Ready to shine. Brighter than all of the lights. Cause when it's game time, seconds away and the game's on the line. There ain't no doubt in my mind. Beating the buzzer like, this is my time. This is my moment. You better bet that I'm on it. Ready and set, I'ma own it. Blasted to 10, then keep going. There ain't no coasting, I never settled on play. Putting the kettle to flame. I go 100 all day. Foot on the pedal, no brakes.
Danny Devine has run roughshod with the help of his brother and with the help of Dustin Daniels himself. Look at that hip toss. Look at this.
Getting his squats in, ladies and gentlemen.
It's leg day, baby, and he hasn't broken a sweat. It's not every Friday that we get a match quite like this. Electric main event feel doesn't begin to describe it.
And Barry Sweeney, this house is electric.
Talking about an underdog story, that's exactly what it is. Dustin Daniels coming all this way. Dustin Daniels is the future of MPW, but the present, the here and now, is Danny Devine.
This has been an all-out war, Sweeney.
This has been a battle if there ever was one, and it is a war of attrition, Pinky.
Well, he's got the belt. No, don't do it.
Wait, Quentin has to withstand, but let's not forget, look what he has in his other hand.
What the hell is that?
Not like this. Pedigree, no.
This is my time. I'm on the rise. Can't hold me down.
Dustin Daniels will not be denied tonight.
Dustin Daniels is still in this fight, whether or not Danny Devine wants it.
This is it, kid. This is your shot.
Make yourself famous. Got all the DT. New champ. New champ. Dustin Daniels is a new champ.
Last week, I told you you all would have a new MPW champion. And look at me now.
At the end of the day, when I look at Dustin, there's a lot of pride in my eyes. However, you probably shouldn't forget the name Danny Devine just yet. I'm in my in-ring prime, and there's still nobody better than me.
To carry myself as a champion, I'm not just representing myself, I'm representing MPW, I'm representing the show, and I'm representing everyone in the back. I have a big responsibility with that. It's one thing to win it, but it's also another thing when the locker room is behind you as well. Not only that I accomplished something big, but I was accepted by the whole roster, and they also saw me as the MPW champion.
Despite everything else, that guy represents the 3 letters MPW. Put emotions to the side, put history aside, and you look at somebody and you think, are you comfortable with them wearing your letters? Are you comfortable with them representing something you love? Dustin's that guy.
Push it to the limit, I can't go no more. Red light, no way, I'm coming back home. Long dirt road, all on my own. I'ma be the greatest, write my name in the stone. Write my name in the stone. Yeah, I'm coming back.